Hey, it's Nick and Jay, and we are back from Thunderhill Raceway and the first ever 3 tracks, 1 race Lemons event. What does all of that mean? Well, this Thunderhill event was a late addition to the 2023 schedule, so Jay decided we had to spice this one up. And Jay, boy, he's never had a bad idea.
Yeah, so Thunderhill is this huge facility and there's a ton of different configurations, and I decided, hey, look, this is going to be great. Let's just run 3 totally different configurations all in one weekend. One day we're going to change directions in the middle of the race. That can't go wrong at all, right? There's not going to be any racer dorks coming at us with a million questions about picayune little meaningless details thinking they can get a competitive edge, right?
Well, okay.
Right, so here was the schedule. On Saturday, we ran the 5-mile layout, but in the backwards from normal direction. Then, on Sunday, we started on the 3-mile layout, also backwards. Then, in the middle of the session on Sunday, we did a huge black flag all, had everyone do a U-turn, and then run the 3-mile in the forwards direction.
Of course, we have tremendous faith and respect in the judgment of Lemons drivers, so after the race, we asked them what they thought of this.
Lemons is a great outfit, and this idea allows us to drive multiple layouts in one weekend. Great.
Well, we love different tracks. I can't think of anything better than doing 3 in one shot.
Jay Lamb is so very humorous and good looking.
We've seen the crazy cars and Lemons. Now we gotta race the freaking backwards? I kinda love it.
Just when I thought this series couldn't get any dumber. How stupid can these organizers possibly be? But, I guess we were able to put up with it. Guys are morons.
Now, as you know, we try not to make a big deal out of the class winners, but that went a little too far at this race. The judge didn't actually understand how the trophy ceremony was supposed to go, so he just said 3 team names out loud and dropped the mic and went away. So we're going to give the class winners a little more credit this time than we normally did, because they earned it and they should have gotten recognition.
Yeah, Class C went to the Junk Runners Ford Ranger. This is a 4-banger Ford Ranger. This is not the first time they've won Class C, and parts of this team go all the way back to Altamont. So, well done, guys.
Class B went to Sorry for Party, the Bikini Party Boys. Now, they crashed their other car, their Solstice, but they still managed to pull Class B overall in their 944 on fumes.
The Class A and overall winners were a long time in the making, talking of course about Captain Jay St. Clair's Volkswagen Corrado and the In Lieu of Therapy racing team. Jay began his Lemons career nearly a decade and 35 races ago. In fact, his very first Lemons race was right here at Thunderhill.
Now, in addition to racing that Corrado, Jay has also been essential in the whole Ranger Road effort. He's a veteran. He helps these guys. They run a hand-controlled GTI, and Ranger Road, if you've been watching these videos or ever been to a race, you know they are right in the thick of it. I don't know that would have happened without Jay making it, so he's got that going for him too.
And maybe best of all, Jay's parents drive from Canada to almost every single Lemons race, and they were there this weekend to watch Jay and his team score this hard-fought win.
And lastly, like most Lemons winners who just inevitably fly under the radar, Jay is not one of those racer sorts of guys who's always complaining to officials and, mucking up the works in the middle of incredibly complicated mid-race track reversal.
Yes, well!
There was lots of hella sweet stuff at this race, including the Anal Probe team, fresh off their Lemons World feature right here on this channel. They hosted the official Saturday paddock party, which allowed us to send out the email to all participants, please come to the Anal Probe party.
Hella Sweet Dirty Duck Racing did a little minor re-theme on their well-trod rabbit, as the year of the rabbit, Lunar New Year, had just happened, and they came in the full garb, and they had the outfits, and they even had the fortune scratchers.
We hadn't seen the Pony Keg Cutlass in a long time, so it was great to see it back in all of its fur-covered glory, and the horse, man, running better than ever.
Speaking of returning cars, College Fund Racing brought back their fleet of Miatas, which they purchased from another team and have been running now. It's a kids and parents team, which we always love to see it. We can only assume that it's called College Fund Racing because all of the kids' college funds are so full and overfunded right now that they've got extra money to go racing with.
Well, Okay.
We also saw the return of the Sheepshaggers Porsche 914. A couple years ago, this car absolutely dominated Class C with a Saturn twin-cam engine swap, which was a huge improvement over the totally not a Beetle engine that these things normally come with. Where do you go from there? Well, you need more power, so they put in a Buick V6.
So that's got to be like the 3800 from the Super Hot Alero, right?
No. It was
The Oddfire 231 out of a Monte Carlo. Awesome.
It was a 4.1 out of an 81 Toronado.
So I gotta change the theme now to Butt Terrible because the California Wise guys and their Audi totally qualify for this. These are Audi guys. They're so used to Audi stuff. They literally have the error codes written on their dashboard. That's how used to it they are with them. So they're driving along in this race. They get the error code for number 2 cylinder craps out in their 1.8 Audi, which, the Chevy small block of Germany is what that thing is. So they finally said, screw it, we're done with this. We need an engine suggestion. I can't believe I'm going to actually say this, but the words are going to come out of my mouth. Tell us in the comments what the Audi guys should replace their horrible Audi engine with. Ooh, I feel so dirty now.
And don't forget to smash that like button. Maybe they should just, get a Toyota.
Hella Sweet, Wet, and Reckless had their Honda Civic. They had a great Kill Bill theme, and we've been doing this long enough that the Kill Bill themes from 10 years ago, everybody's forgotten them, so you can do it again. That was awesome.
And then you had KFU Racing, Mazda RX-7, got a bucket of chicken on the roof.
It's got to add as Hella Sweet the BS and penalty judges. We had a really great group. We had Tim O'Dell, we had Chris Overzet, the famous Chris Overzet, and we had Jeff Gates from Alloy.
They handed out classic penalties like saran wrap, sort the giant bucket of bolts, plus they brought new ones like do 10 laps on the slot car track without crashing, and have the whole team hula hoop for a minute. That one worked especially well.
Yeah, it's a good thing we actually had a seasoned penalty staff because one of the teams that came back was the Bernal Kids.
Yes.
Bernal Kids are the children of the Bernal Dads. They were infants when the Bernal Dads started racing, and now they're racing Lemons. They had a little difficulty staying out of trouble in their previous race. They had a little bit of difficulty staying out of trouble in this race as well. Although, to be fair, some of the dads were also driving this car. It might just be a Mustang thing.
In fact, one of the Bernal dads mentioned at the track that their initial thought for the Bernal Kids car should be something 4-cylinder, front drive automatic, like a Civic or whatever. But instead, they went in a completely different
I'm sweating like steaming, you can feel the flow when I'm rolling in my 5.0.
Yeah, now, so where were the actual Bernal dads and all this? Well, they were first racing their stalwart BMW engined Volvo wagon, a well-seasoned car. But they brought a new car. They brought a PTG-built, modern turbo diesel swapped M3 race car.
Excuse me?
Sounded like you said PTG M3 race car?
Yes, I did say PTG M3 race car. So this is like at least a $50,000 used race car. And you know what? We didn't really have a problem with that, and here's why. 1, past safety tech, no problem. 2, we gave them so many penalty laps that they would have to still be on the track like next December to catch up with the pony keg. And 3, at the end of the day, still a modern BMW.
All right, let's get into some awards. First up, we got the special J. Lamb Memorial, even though he isn't dead yet. Let's make your already complicated job even harder trophy.
God, what a bunch of complainers.
Which went to the Thunderhill staff for accommodating our multi-track idea and moving walls and tire barriers to make it all happen. Kudos to them.
The Yokohama Road Mangler Cup and the free set of Yokohamas that goes with it went to Prince and the new powertrain generation. We've talked about them before. They used to have a Celica back when they were Prince and the revolutions per minute, but because they are hip, they had to get a new car, they had to get a new band.
The Miata of Tired Iron Racing was our organizer's choice. Team Captain Mike and his team were celebrating 50 Lemons races right here at this event. They've come close to winning on more than one occasion. They never have. In the meantime, they're a great bunch. Definitely the kind of team we don't mind spending 50 weekends with. Well-deserved lifetime achievement, organizer's choice.
Judge's choice was the hit-and-run racing Miata. Now, if you're starting to think, well, there were a lot of Miatas at that race, well, yeah, there were a lot of Miatas at that race. In fact, this was the most successful one. It finished 7th overall. And you're thinking in a Miata-rich field of a big field of endurance racing, to be 7th overall, the fastest Miata, you must be the cheatiest, most built, like, you've got to really be pushing the envelope.
Yes, well!
Actually, of all of the Miatas, this was the stockest, least cheatiest, most legit 1.6 in the entire field, and they dominated. Let that be a lesson, people.
I Got Screwed went to the rookie team, Bratwurst Racing, and their Volkswagen Passat wagon.
Yeah, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Volkswagen Passat wagon?
Unreliable. Overcomplicated. Check engine light. Should have bought a Toyota. Limp home mode.
Yeah, this car actually came out of the box and it was doing great for the first hour and then mysteriously and irrevocably went into limp home mode, which meant for the rest of the weekend, 40% power and third gear or fourth gear, pick it in advance.
And speaking of Volkswagens, here's Heroic Fix. First, honorable mention to the Boylan Hassenpfeffers who swapped their GTI's transmission overnight on Saturday, but the Heroic Fix top honor went to maybe not the most difficult fix, but easily the most clever.
Team Cabernet has been racing this Sesame Street themed Cabrio for, a few years now. And I don't know, they've got this sort of historic clutch problem. Maybe it's a throwout bearing, maybe it's a fork. It just kind of doesn't go into it. It's just a Volkswagen.
Yeah, so this clutch problem showed up midday on Saturday. They were able to get on the internet, get an overnight delivery that was going to show up Sunday. Did they give up for the rest of the day on Saturday? They did not. They took the thing apart, stacked 4 quarters into the clutch mechanism to get it to sort of work. That was enough to get them through the checkered flag on Saturday, got the replacement parts on Sunday, swapped it all out, took the checkered flag for the weekend. Very heroic.
The prestigious, all-important IOE, Index of Effluency, went to the Scooby Doobies and their Camaro. These guys are quickly becoming a fixture. Their themes are always awesome. They started out with a flea market theme, and then they did a eBay Motors shameless pandering theme. This time they changed it up again to a Scooby-Doo theme, which is always great. They even made their own mystery machine. Extra kudos points for that. But what really did it, they have the worst, horriblest F-body found out of a field. And this car, it looks like they're having fun, but they're always dead last. This time, they were like in the top 20% of the field when they finished. They caned the living out of this car, and the results finally came to them.
Last but not least, we've got the eBay Motors Halloween Meets Gasoline prize, $1,000 for the best theme. It went to the Stanford Highly Incompetent Team and their Honda Accord.
We covered these guys in their first race last year, and when they showed up, they were, methodical, efficient, buttoned down, very organized. Sort of exactly what you would expect from a bunch of high-functioning Stanford students. Well, okay, they got that out of their system. This time they decided, we're just going to show up in full Greek outfit, togas, beer pong, pretty much diametrically opposed to the previous event. They stayed in character, if indeed it was character, all weekend. I mean, they really owned this thing. You never saw them not being Greek.
And that's the thing about the college experience as a whole. There's a lot of discussion these days about the high cost of a university education, especially private one like Stanford, and whether or not that's justifiable against the career earnings that may result from that education. It's not too hard to imagine a scenario where the student debt that you generate from attending college isn't paid off for years, if ever. But there are a lot of life experiences that you get in college that can't be quantified with course credits, your future salary, or any hard data like that. So for the fortunate students that are able to attend college, even if it means going into debt, don't forget that many, if not most of that investment, while it can't be seen on paper, is more than worth it.
Here's Lemons in a nutshell.
Every second you don't subscribe or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. Won't you help us save Classic?